Toddler says something surprising at adoption hearing. The judge stops it right after. Becoming parents for the first time is a surreal moment that changes your life. One newly married couple was extremely eager to experience this joy of life. But sadly, they couldn't have a child of their own. So, they decided to turn to adoption as an alternative. This decision was going to radically change their lives and bring them together like never before. Mandy and Tyler Palmer were all set for the day of their son's adoption. Ultimately, it was the result of their years of struggle of proving that they were the right parents for this child. They had taken utmost care to ensure that they would raise the boy in a healthy and happy home. While they were awaiting the judge's decision at the trial, they kept reminiscing the long-drawn days that had culminated into this one. And then, the little one suddenly spoke something that gave them the surprise of their life. A long time before Tyler met Mandy, he served in the United States Army in Afghanistan. He was deployed there only 3 weeks after he had finished his basic training. Tyler had to suffer unimaginable hardships in Afghanistan, both mentally and physically. After his time concluded, there was nothing he looked forward to more than returning home to the US, and soon after, he was destined to meet Mandy, the love of his life. Shortly after returning home, he crossed paths with Mandy and they fell in love. And that's when another news struck him unexpectedly. He was being deployed to the Middle East once again. This time, it was even more difficult for Tyler, as he would be leaving Mandy for a long time. Especially, because Mandy also struggled with medical issues. During his deployment to the Middle East, the couple spent a year apart. When he returned, the first thing he did was go down on one knee and propose to Mandy. And a few weeks later, they were married. Soon enough, Tyler and Mandy felt that they wanted to have children and experience parenthood. Sadly, Mandy's medical condition made the process extremely difficult. The couple found out that they had trouble conceiving and didn't know what to do. They tried for years to get pregnant, with no success. This ordeal became extremely unpleasant and distressing for the couple, who began to lose hopes. Ultimately, Tyler and Mandy accepted their fate and realized that it just wasn't going to happen. Then, they turned to the possibility of adoption. It was most likely the only way they were going to have a child. Despite the process being a long and arduous one, they made up their minds to go through it all and adopt a baby. They had decided not to give up on their dream of having a family. They believed they were making the right decision when they saw several notices of requirements of foster parents. They educated themselves about adoption and realized that it would work wonders, both for themselves as well as the little child. The toddler would get a second chance at life. Mandy and Tyler's faith played a huge role in deciding to become foster parents. The couple believed that all along, it was God's plan to give them a chance to make someone's life better and give them love. Finally, they took the leap of faith. They joined the licensing program that would initiate their procedures of adopting a foster child. The documentation and paperwork was a long-drawn process that proved to be exhausting. But of course, they knew that the end result would be completely worth it. That's when they got to know of a baby boy named Hunter who was in need of a family. They knew that they would love Hunter dearly and their home would be complete. Now, the couple began to purchase supplies to prepare for the baby's arrival. They made rounds to the local stores and stocked up on everything the baby would need. Then, they went to meet Hunter at the children's services. There he was, all bundled up in a blanket, being held by their caseworker. Hunter was just over a week old. He was the most perfect little boy for Mandy and Tyler. They fell in love with the cute baby instantly. The main thing that the couple was concerned about was the possibility of the child being taken away. This happens commonly when the biological parents change their mind about their baby and decide to take him or her back. But when they saw Hunter's adorable face, they decided to trust God and took their chance. They wanted to keep Hunter and raise him as their own child. The bond that had formed was unbreakable. The adoption process took much longer than what they had imagined. It was a long period of 16 months to get to the finish line, to get Hunter home as their own son. There were countless hearings, meetings, and home visits that took up a lot of their time. Finally, on 18th of December 2017, their final hearing was scheduled. Hunter, their baby, would finally come home forever. Despite Mandy's medical condition and Tyler's PTSD, they were determined to give Hunter the best life possible. After all, he had brought so much joy to their lives. He made them complete. The couple dressed up for the big moment. They waited patiently, waiting for the judge's words. It was a very emotional ordeal, for everyone in the courtroom, including the couple's family and friends. At the end of it all, the judge announced Hunter's new legal name. At that moment, Hunter paused and turned to look over at Tyler and Mandy. Then, the little one smiled and yelled out to Tyler, "Dad." It was such an emotional moment of pure love, that brought tears to everyone's eyes. It was the one moment that this family would never forget. With this long-drawn process, the joy on Hunter's face made it all worth it. The first word that he uttered in the courtroom made Mandy and Tyler extremely confident about their decision. Now, they have all moved forward and live together as one complete, happy family.